Alright, what's up everybody on YouTube? HammerTime9000X coming at you with a little bit of a belated video, but you know what, we have a really big series of banners coming up, and I wanted a chance to talk about them and also, kind of give you my opinions and thoughts as, kind of we wind down in the first string of events for the month. And yeah, so, we're gonna kind of just hop right into it and go from there. Let me double check. Alright, so hopefully the roadmap is showing on my screen. Sometimes it messes up a little bit. I'm going to double check real quick, and if I can cut this out of the video, I will. But if not, thank you for being patient. Okay, we're good. Alright, so as many of you probably have already realized, we've already hopped into February with all the stuff that kind of happened on 2.6. I do kind of want to touch base on some of the stuff from 2.6. I know this video is probably coming out on 2.11, but some of the things that were from 2.6 are still actually ongoing at the moment, and I think it's always worth discussing those things. So if we're looking at the game, right? We've got the defense battle, and this is one of the best events. I know you probably heard me speak about this before, other creators speak about this before, but this event is awesome because the exchange, the things you can get from this exchange can, boost your units to otherwise be able to beat content that they couldn't beat otherwise. You can trade for the innocent caretaker things you need to otherwise boost your innocence percentages up. You can get the pretty prisms and pretty elixirs for those of you who are deep enough to do alchemy. All very important to get as many points as possible from this, and you'll notice that you can get the specific character things down here if you need them. Of course, you get those dropped just generally by doing Edna's Resort, but for you can get nether quartz times 10 for each of these levels, so you can get 30 nether quartz for even like the lower point ones. It's a discussion on whether you think 30 quartz is worth the difference in points just to get the other stuff, but you can see that like I have a team here where the strongest unit is only 8,800, right? They were able to 3-star this. It's an easy round. You'll be able to hopefully take care of even the harder units here. Oh, actually, sorry, that wasn't my team I used. My team I used the OG T-Val to wipe it all. You can see the rest of the team here. The next highest is 5,900. Just one unit I used as AoE, and I just wiped. Running all 10 on the highest level is worth it. Having said that, one of the other comments I'll make with respect to this is you actually get a lot of HL by running these. So if you want to combine your HL boost bill with this, it's worthwhile. I'm not really hurting for HL right now, so I'm not going to, but you'll see, look how much HL you get for doing those maps. So small little hack for those of you who need more HL. This is a good place to do afterward. Anyway, UDT penance. We similarly have the discussion that you need 5 rook characters. This one gives the best, wasn't it? Oh yeah. This gives primarily mana potions, and so do the prior versions. Mana potions are candidly what I would call for lack of a better term, a useless resource at this point. Because of the invent of super reincarnation, you can have units that are just supremely busted with mana. So like, I'll show you, for example, my units here that I've super reincarnated. Let's look at, like, for saying Future Warrior Planar. I've maxed all cheats. I've maxed all of these. Am I going to boost her on all of these? Probably not. But, I mean, look at how much mana she has. She has 58,000 more. And that's just from taking her up from to 15 or 13 super reincarnations. Even going up to 4 was enough, I think, or very close to enough to like max out pretty much anything you would ever need. So, anyway, that's kind of the moral of the story. So don't kind of waste anything by doing the lower levels here, because it's just not worth it. If you can beat the top one, you should beat the top one. Next, we got character gate of one of the better. I think Pure Flown, even now, is probably the best, if not one of the top of the better free units that we actually get. I like her a lot. I haven't really found as many uses for her recently, just because, certain power creep has happened and she hasn't quite caught up, but like she's still very useful in a pinch, a solid character to get, definitely worth picking up. One of the low-key things that you should always remember to do is whenever an event ends, you can still exchange, so always save a little bit so you can get the 5 pots every day with respect to that. Spar space this time, I believe it is, I know it's star because I cleared mine with star, but I think I want to say it's wind star, but it might be fire star. Having said that, if you need help otherwise thinking about some teams or kind of additional units you can use, more than welcome to join me on one of my Twitch streams. You can ask, I'll be streaming generally for every so often, so you can always come check me out, HammerTime 9000X, or you can leave a comment below and kind of ask me more specifics about your box if you can otherwise do so. You can also reach out to me on Discord. My Discord link and everything is in my YouTube profile description as well. Anyway, so let's just hop back a little bit here. The next big thing to talk about in terms of the current status of banners is Mizador. And let me get to him, not the paid one. So Mizador is what I would consider the king of Item World. He otherwise has the ability, and I'll show you it here, as his NE5, where if an Item World boss is down, drop rate plus 20%, separate to normal drops, can duplicate, no stacking with other drop rate boosts. So basically what that means is if you take Mizador in, you'll have a 20% chance to get a chest drop. Now, if you take in 2 Mizador, you get a 40% chance for a chest drop that is separate, and by the way, this is separate from your normal rate. So one of the things that has changed in Disgaea RPG over time is that the builds have actually become so much better. The builds, like right now I think we have a 3 times drop rate build, right? So with a 3 times drop rate build, that can work for your normal drop, and then Mizador can come in on the back end with the, his percent. So a lot of people choose to get 5 Mizador just to guarantee a chest on every single floor. He at 9999 is strong enough to kind of withstand the harder stuff. So having 5 of him will guarantee you to have it 100% of the time on even the lower floors. 10, 20, 40, 50, 70, 80 are a certain percentage. The 30, 60, 90 are a slightly higher percentage. And then the 100 is the highest percentage for drops. It doesn't change your chance to get a legend or a rare, but it definitely helps you on farming. Now, there's a huge debate, or a small debate maybe, in the community about whether to use macros and things that can otherwise tell you if you get a good drop and otherwise automate the process for you. I don't personally use macros, so for me, Mizador was a great pickup. I picked one of them up in his first rerun. I did not choose to go for 5 because at the time I was fairly low on quartz, but as you see, right now I have a lot of quartz because I want to talk about the banners that are about to be coming, because that's where I'm going to be spending most of my quartz. I'm also kind of in the debate of getting a second Visitor, but I have 4 days, and you have 4 days to decide if you want to get them. But to me, balancing and having a 40% chance for a Mizador drop might be worth it to me, and I've been kind of leaning toward doing it. So maybe if I decide by the end of this video, maybe you'll see some pulls too. Actually, maybe you'll see pulls. Anyway, let's hop back out real quick to the schedule here. So, as we kind of just went through, those are kind of the events that are going on right now. The special item world bills I showed up very briefly, but the 3x drop rate and the XP boost are the two main ones. So take advantage while you can for kind of maximizing your units, especially for those of you who have Abyss keys still saved up and you have a lot of units you want to do at once. Personally, I like to do super reincarnations of 5 people at once. Take them from 1 to 999 in one run. So pass the bill of the 3x EXP, run them, they'll go from 1 to 999. And that's even without my boost for paying the monthly subscription, which I like the XP boost. You can now get a monthly subscription boost for kind of the other stuff as well. So to each their own on what they want to do with that. I think it is worth it. It's a small amount of money every month to do, like, for the boost. And like I said, you might not even need another Visitor if you have like the constant boost going. So it really just depends on you. To me, the thought of getting the 40% is to try to get 2 drops and just limit my item world farming a little bit. But or 2 or even 3 Mizador would be sweet. So anyway, let's talk about the events that are coming up this week from 216. Now, of course, we have a collab here, and there's I think it's like the Great Witch collab, the Witch and the 100 Knights. This is a sick collab. This brings a lot of good units to the game, and in fact, one that I will consider a busted SS tier unit in Ryubens, who's just an absolute monster. Not literally, but like she's excellent. So we'll talk about her and kind of the other units coming. Now let me pull up the handy wiki. Oh, my interact went away, so give me 1 second as it loads. Okay, so here we go. And then we gotta make this bigger on my screen. Okay, so we're scrolling. Here's Rubens. Well, let's just start with kind of save the best for first. So hopefully you can kind of see this on my screen. Maybe I'll try to move it over slightly. There we go. Alright, so as you can see, Rubens' kit, 1 ally at the lowest speed at the end of this unit's turn on HQ basic stats plus crit damage for 1 turn plus 25. Having that as a baseline is just so good. All allies, if the unit's HP is over 50%, grant status that causes damage dealt by special skills plus 18%, a nice little damage boost. And then the final one, all allies, the more surviving allies, the more elemental damage with a max of plus 20% with 5 allies. Also a great damage boosting skill. Looking at her skills, candidly, I love her kit so much. So, for those of you who are around during the Madoka Magica collab, this is basically the next Madoka. But candidly, I think that she is on par, if not slightly better than Madoka, because she does just slightly more. She gives a little SP, she gives crit damage and crit rate, she gives, as well as the overheal for 2 turns to a single ally, it's so nice. I think the first one's a debuff. Yep, and enemies infected with a defense rebuff are inflicted with Forget. That's also extremely useful for PvP, because Forget, as many of you know, is one of the ways to kill, for example, Nisa. It's one of those ways to kind of get past some of the more annoying units, and she also has this fire-based INT move that removes enemy buffs and inflicts Forget. So her kit all around is just, I love it. She gives Mega Armor and Mega Resist, to the extent that you're not using her skills, which you probably will be using more often than not. But yeah, she's great. She's, in my opinion, busted. She's a human. She's an INT, mage type user. Just so good. Definitely, if you had only like enough quartz to pity one unit, and there's only one unit that you could actually get, Grievance is the answer. Having said that, let's take a look at the rest of this collab. Metalia, pretty solid as well. We also get a badass version of her, which I'll show in a moment. I'll do a pull video for all these units, so maybe I'll talk about them in even more detail during that. But having said that, Metalia also gives buffs to her team. She also gives buffs to damage, and she debuffs the enemy team. I'd like to akin this Metalia a little bit to Marome. There we go. Marome, she's the free unit that otherwise has somewhat of a similar skill as this ability 3 here, that otherwise debuffs the enemy units. Metalia's main kind of thing, and although we haven't really had too many need for a poison type unit, every single one of her skills I think inflicts poison. So there is one of the tower stages that poisons the way to win. Though I'm sure many of the longtime players have probably already gotten way past that. But having said that, there will probably be times in the future where poison will be useful to have on a unit. She also gives attack and INT buffs as well as crit buffs, and her other skills, a bunch of debuffs on the enemy. Her spells also, unsurprisingly, deal with poison. She has, the Mega... I know it's called Mega Magic up here, but it's just the Magic Boost one that most characters have for spells. Solid unit. Brainwash Margarita, I think she'll probably come on her own banner. Her spell is also Mega Braveheart, Mega Magic, so she can also be used for kind of both teams. So she also has an all hit debuff type skill. She provides crit damage and SP, and she also has a nice healing skill. Her abilities, she's actually one of the few that I think have an amp duel from when it first comes out, or pretty early on from when it comes out. But she also gives nice damage boost, and then if she herself has a fist, which she's a fist unit, once again she's also a support type. Or actually, I think she might be more of a DPS. Let's see, what's her... Remind me her kit again real quick as I'm going through this. Okay, I like it. Yeah, so she's more of a support unit as well. But she gets 18k on attack, so that's she can do some damage too. But you have to use her as a fist. And as many of you know, if there's no condition on their abilities, you would always want to go with an axe for that extra attack power. But she probably makes up for it. But she also like boosts her team's damage, so definitely cool unit. Actually, I like a lot of the units that are coming up this month. It's actually a pretty jam-packed month. I think you'll be served going in on basically any of these banners because all of these units are viable units. This one also a crit damage giving unit. She has a nice auction gauge to everyone if there are people surviving. And if she's put on a team with multiple magic monster units, they get damage boost for everyone. Nice, she boosts INT and crit damage for 2 turns, and doesn't inflict sleep on all foes. That's a unique. I don't know. Is she like our first one that has a single skill that does a buff to your party and a damage to the other to your foes at the same time? She might be. She has a non-consecutive use here on this, which is a nice debuff skill, and then she has this really nice debuff on a single unit that gives sleep and paralysis. I think her skills are all magic based. Magic and speed based. So, yeah, another unit that'll be definitely worth consideration for your courts. And I know that's why, I definitely want to make this video because we have so many broken units coming. Like this month, it just, in my opinion, almost too jam packed, right? Anyway, for that, I'll talk about the rest later. And thank you.